Welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. And we will go straight to the protest that's still going on in Surat Thani at Chowat district.
Well, technically, this is supposed to be a D-Day, right?
Yes,
Remember
today
they say that
we'll
September
hear.
3rd?
Yes, they just told everybody just to be on alert on September 3rd. But the Metro Police already come out and asked for the protester if they're thinking about coming into Bangkok, please don't go at the Royal Plaza.
Okay.
Because right now, currently, Crown Prince staying at his palace, which is near the area. And also asking the protesters not to block the road that was scheduled to use for the King and the Queen of Malaysia.
Oh, right.
Just to accommodate the state guests.
Yeah, so that means that there's going to be a lot of police.
There will be a lot of police. Reportedly said the police has prepared about 1,300 police officers to handle if the mob, we call the media like to call this protest or gathering nickname as mob. Actually, anyway, the police is preparing about 1,300 police officers to handle the protesters if they move anywhere from Chowat. But right now there's a lot of petition and a lot of complaint from other kind of farmer already that blocking the road to the three southernmost provinces of Thailand is affecting many parts of agricultural sector because obviously it's blocking the logistic and a lot of fresh vegetable and a lot of goods unable to deliver to the three provinces down there. But people still gather and they see lots of new faces joining in. But actually, I think the show was reporting yesterday that there was a shooting resulting in one death over the weekend. So finally, the police said that they already found a suspect and they already issued an arrest warrant. The police believe that this is more like a personal matter because this group of protesters has very tight security and pretty far from where the police stand. So they believe this is something maybe just personal. But the journalist talked to the father of the victim. The father said that they actually, the victim actually just live nearby where people gathered. And he actually just worked in another district. He worked at the auto repair shop. No, not auto repair, sorry. Air conditioning shop. And he come back to his house once a week on Sunday. And over the weekend, he was joining his brother that already at the protest site. Just to join in. And they believe he had a fight with one of the guard of the protest. But he was not the guard himself. He was just joining in. And there was some gunfire exchange. Resulting in one death. So anyway, the government, of course, is trying to mend things for the protesters. So they actually was prepared to have a meeting. The Deputy Prime Minister Kitirat Naranong said that they will ask the protester to send in representative, about 12 or 15 of them, to talk to the government in the afternoon of September 4th, which is tomorrow. And then right after that, next morning, which is on Thursday, Deputy Prime Minister will talk to the Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra about whatever they're able to get out of the meeting. But right now, like we reported before, they're still unable to come down with a number that both sides happy
with.
Yes, even though the Deputy Prime Minister said, okay, they cannot give the price. I think right now they come down to 100 baht, about around 90 to 100 baht for power rubber price per kilogram, but the farmers still not happy with it yet. Yukon Lim Chalam Thong, the Deputy Prime Minister, and also the Minister of Agriculture and Agriculture Cooperative Ministry, said in the TV. Oh no, I said it's a radio program. The Prime Minister meet people.
It's the TV show.
It's a TV show.
Right.
Said that even though the pricing cannot be negotiated yet, but the government is preparing to discuss that they will subsidize the utilizer for about 1,260 baht per rai.
Oh, the
But
fertilizers.
The first,
Right.
sorry.
That's okay.
What is utilizer?
The fertilizer.
The
right.
fertilizer for about 1,260 baht per rai, but each farmer will not get more than 10 rai, and they're considering stop taking the fees into the para rubber fund for about 4 months. So they think that should help alleviate the problem for at least another 4 months until I guess the market price going up.
Right.
But today we will see what they actually do, because there was the report that actually in some of the area in the south they actually prepare some tent, and they expect another 2,000-3,000 people to join. So there will be more people today.
Right. So just brace yourself for that. If you can avoid the area, obviously where, especially the government house, the Royal
Right.
Plaza. There are certain spots that you could avoid. So go elsewhere.
I think if they're going to move in somewhere, we'll hear about it first, because from the south to Bangkok it's pretty far away, but there will be something happen today for sure.
Right. And at this point, if it's not in Bangkok, even in your area, if you live, around the area, obviously in Surat Thani especially, you know where to avoid, because obviously at this point, when the crowd became quite big, the chances are you cannot control them. And
True.
there's a lot more people with different motives that join
True.
in. So there might be some that, just come in just for a fun of instigating violence. So be very careful.
Things can go wrong easily.
Right. So don't rely on the police, just like, we're just going to wait for police to protect us. That might not work that way. All right. Now to the big news that obviously
Right.
everybody was looking at. Tony Blair came in. We reported about it yesterday. And of course, there was a meeting. Finally, the Uniting for the Future, learning from each other's experience. Quite big meeting.
Right.
With a very fancy name.
Right.
Obviously, it took place at Plaza Etany Hotel. Very fancy hotel as well. This particular meeting obviously involved a lot of key figures, including the Tony Blair, which is obviously the former British Prime Minister, as well as Martti Ahtisaari, the former Finland presidents, and Priscilla Heiner, the experts for the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, or HDC. Now, these key figures obviously were there to exchange experiences according to this forum and the Prime Minister's will, to exchange experiences, share their thoughts and such. Now, Tony Blair is the one that a lot of people looked at, and he came up with 5 principles that would lead us toward more peaceful, I guess,
Right.
situation. He said that reconciliation occurred when the sense of shared opportunity was greater than the other issues. And obviously, our country is a country of opportunity with growing economy, large population, and rich culture and history. Therefore, we should be able to work together. Now, the second one, he talked about all countries have differences and historical pain to reconcile. Therefore, past conflict can be honestly examined, but it can never be in a way just to reach satisfaction of everyone. So meaning that you might not exactly get what you want.
Right.
Not all sides. Obviously, that's not possible. If everyone gets what they want, that's just kind of, it's going to be a utopia. But you have to compromise pretty much. Now, the third principle, he said that to have a framework for the future that is just and objective, that means that the root cause of the conflict have to be properly addressed. And he gave out an example in Northern Ireland, where he actually gave the IRA, the people that involved in the IRA, the inmates, we call it, during that time to actually release these inmates and show Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland that they actually both have potential and ability to work together to push forward Ireland. So that's what he said, giving
just
that
to
example.
show sincerity
pretty
in
much.
dealing with the
Fourthly,
differences.
he said that a crucial part for reconciliation is a genuine democracy.
Right.
Which, that's true.
True.
Yeah, stating the fact there. He said that democracy is not, this is quote, democracy is not just a way of voting, but also a way of thinking. Democracy is not just about how the majority takes power, it is how the majority relates to minority.
Right.
I like that.
I like that because most of the time when people talking about democratic system, they were just talking about what majority wants.
Exactly.
And whoever wins is the one that decides for all.
So technically
far.
That's
not the real ideology.
Exactly.
Right.
Now the last principle he said that was effective and responsible government. To have effective and responsible government, meaning that reconciliation was easier to achieve if politics in the country as a whole was effective in delivering improvement to the people. So 5 key principles that we have learned from this particular meeting.
Right.
All very interesting. Now, one of the person, Priscilla Hayner, obviously, like I said, of the HDC, has said that all in all, to have reconciliation, first of all, you have to look at the meaning of reconciliation, whether or not, each concerned party have the same understanding of the word reconciliation. That's the first thing. And she said that at this point, you should not rush, or we should not rush. Thailand should not rush into trying to, in terms of the process to get to the goal of reconciliation. Do not rush because it takes time.
Right.
Right. And she also said that, as I said, look at the root cause. And plus, in terms of amnesty bill, she said that to have the amnesty, you have to be very, very careful that it's actually narrowed enough that, you did not including everyone, because she said that not everyone deserved to have amnesty in everything. Therefore, you have to look at the facts and then be able to have a clear understanding of what exactly or who exactly should be able to be part of this amnesty bill kind of thing. Right.
Interesting.
So, all in all is quite interesting. Plus, there's a meeting with the Democrat Party as well. With Kun Abhisit, obviously, Tony Blair's told the Prime Minister that he will talk to Kun Abhisit and then see whether or not they can, bring the Democrat Party in. So they had a lunch together at about 12:30 at the British Embassy in Thailand, obviously in Bangkok, and at the Withayu, the wireless road. And of course, during that meeting, there's a lot of discussion between Kun Abhisit as well as Tony Blair. Now,
I remember Abhisit has one condition last week. He said he wants government to slow down the process of pushing amnesty bill. So is there anything changed?
Well, it seems like, after the meeting, the thing is, Tony Blair probably did not have that much of a leverage in terms of trying to say that the government, could you please push it? But at this point, it seems like Kun Abhisit said that they were, Kun Gon as well, Kun Abhisit were there, Kun Gon Gadwanit obviously. He said that we told Blair that legal principles are important in democratic society.
True.
And he agreed, and he kind of understood our stance. But in terms of whether or not they would not join the reform, that's kind of like in the discussion.
Wait and see.
Pretty much. Because they say that at this point, Kun Gon believed that to actually have this amnesty bill, he explained, this is what Kun Gon Jatikawanit posted on his Facebook, saying that we explained to him, which is Tony Blair, again, that the government is not really sincere about political reform. They also refuse to review the consideration of amnesty bill, as the bill would create more of the division and negative impact on political system. So it seems that they did get to talk, they did get to have lunch.
Right, and sound like it's in pretty detail.
Yeah, so I believe at this point it's more like Tony Blair get to hear both sides of the story.
True,
because,
but
in the
he's
morning,
not the judge of
No, not really. Exactly. He can try it. I mean,
He can write a book about it.
right, he can try and then see, what to do and such. But at this
True.
point, the Democrat Party has not come out and say that, yay, Tony Blair saved
Right.
the day kind of thing, and we're going to join.
I wonder the amnesty bill already on the process. I don't think it will be stopped anytime soon because it's something the government really believe that it's
Right.
good for everyone.
Yeah, so we're not sure.
They're not. I don't think the government.
Apart
will slow
from the
down.
5 principles and talks here and there, we're still not sure what's going on.
Right. Anyway, we're gonna take a short break, and maybe Kun Chen can give us some clear answer or what we can expect from this seminar coming up next. Stay tuned.